always wanted to be a part of something great, and this has definitely met that mark. We have established ourselves as the place to be in Rhode Island, the friendliest place to be. As you walk around, you get to really try to meet some of our staff here. Everyone, even in this weather, have an incredible smile on their face, and this is quite a welcoming experience. So to have a little piece of that, to be able to to be able to really raise a standard here on fan experience and the overall experience for Rhode Islanders has really been quite special.
So we're early on the second season here in this beautiful brand new stadium. Kind of tell us how the experience was kind of getting us here.
Yeah, this has been a bit of a roller coaster ride. I mean, I was here. I hired about 4 years ago. I used to work for Commanders, the NFL, and made my way to Rhode Island, and it's been quite the journey of ups and downs. But at the end of the day, we opened up these doors on May 3rd, almost to the day. We have about a week more, and it's been a quite phenomenal experience.
The process of getting a soccer. I mean, we obviously have some bigger soccer stadiums in this country, and now we're at this point where clubs like Rhode Island FC are finding ways and wanting to build their own homes. As somebody who worked for the Dynamo, you know, obviously the NFL's the monster of American sports. What's it mean to you? What's it like to know that we can get places like this built now?
It's quite phenomenal. I always look back. I started my career early on in '99 with Major League Soccer team, and seeing the resource there, I sometimes look at where that has come now, and I see that league. But seeing USL, it reminds me of that a little bit. And I knew back then they were saying, if you build it, they will come, right? If you build stadiums, if you build infrastructure, training facilities, so on and so forth. I mean, Rhode Island FC is a leg up now in USL and building such a phenomenal facility here, and they will come. They have come. The community now has filled a void, you know, and are coming to our games, are coming to Centerville Bank Stadium, not only for soccer, for other things that we've been able to offer the community. And not only has it done that, it's created this economic development around this area of Pawtucket, which I think you guys had a chance to get around yesterday. So it means everything, obviously, you know, to me, to be able to be a part of that, one little piece of it, to build something, to then, you know, share it with the community. And now, you know, the possibilities are endless.
So explain to us a little bit. We've got it built and whatnot, but what are some of the specific features of Centerville Bank Stadium?
Yeah, so I consider this stadium on a very pro level experience from a fan experience standpoint. We, we have Amazon marketplaces right over your corner or right over your shoulder here, where you can tap in your card, grab in, and walk out. We offer, the latest and greatest when it comes to technology of the main video boards and experience across the board. We've really tapped into this, this community as far as their food options. I don't know if you've seen, I don't know if we have it up tonight, but we have this, lobster, baked potato lobster. We call it our hat trick, where it's baked potato, macaroni and cheese, and lobster. Yes, and then we have our soggy dogs and so on. So we've really been able to listen to our fans, hear what is most important to them, and be able to provide it for them.
I can't believe you didn't list the pretzel. We've heard so much about the pretzel.
Ben's pretzel, you're right. I mean, I got to get you a couple of those tonight.
All right. I mean, we were told maybe the rain would keep the pretzels from being here. That sounded terrible. I'm glad that you're saying that maybe we can get some. When fans attach themselves to a team, they want to feel like a stadium is their home, right? That they have some sort of ownership over what happens in the building. How does that work with what you do? I mean, we've talked to some Defiance fans. They're very intense about what they want to bring to the table in terms of the atmosphere at this place. So what does that mean for you?
Yeah, I mean, Defiance is, from day one, have been absolutely incredible, their dedication to the club here. Irvin and I sat across from each other. I have a pretty good background with supporter groups in the MLS and so on, and they have set out to make sure that they, set the tone for the fan experience here. We talked from the onset to make sure that their stand was a supporter stand. They have standing only rails there, and they've also talked about how they want to make sure that their drums are heard nonstop 90 minutes, which they do, which is pretty impressive. But they've also added to some of the design when we were coming, when we were getting into the building, where they're gonna walk into, how important it was for them for the march to the match, for the community, for Pawtucket to hear them coming, for hopefully Tampa Bay to hear them coming, so that they set the concrete home field advantage.
And you guys had one of the league best attendances last year. So obviously what the stadium is bringing the people in. But I heard, is there any sort of adjustments? Like, what have you had to just working through that first season? What are some things that came up?
Yeah, I mean, when you build something and you look at all the drawings nonstop, it's not really. I mean, obviously you draw it up to make it an easy ingress, egress, and all of that. But once people actually use it, then you really have to modify, how people are walking certain ways, or how they're parking their cars, or how they're coming through the gate. I have to say, guys, it's really been, and I have to knock on wood here somewhere, but it's really been a good opening for us. Rhode Islanders, what I've learned in a short amount of time here, you're only as good as your first impression. And our first impression opening those doors has been remarkable. So we spent the time of that full-on fan journey, right? So from the time you're getting your tickets on your phone, to when you're walking up to the gates, to when you're coming through security, it's a seamless experience. Coming onto the concourse as well, providing really sort of the bells and whistles, and people taking advantage of has been a great reception we've received from the fan base.
I could see that some of our viewers are talking about where this league is, USL Championship. Obviously, USL has made some big announcements the past year. Rob and I have covered those pretty in depth. Some of them involve the standards that U.S. Soccer requires for different leagues. Centerville Bank Stadium is a gem for the size it is. Can it get bigger? Can there be more? What does it look like in the future?
Yeah, the stadium's been built to expand. So just behind us, there's actually right over my head, there's a steel beam that goes right across this south end as well as north end. So this steel beam will be is built to hold 2,500 seats on this end as well as the other. So that'll be our 5,000. That'll get us to 15,000. Also over my shoulder on our east side, we're built to expand on that side as well. So yes, this stadium is ready.
And
ready to be a
from
part
day
of
one, that was part of the plan, from the original design.
That was day one. Credit to our ownership group, Brett Johnson and Dan Krober, who really deserve all the credit for this stadium and the way that it's been built and designed.
Oh, that's incredible. That's some really good foresight, because, in the past, it maybe haven't been places that had the foresight for that. What would be something, is there something quirky about the stadium, or a special feature that you can only find here in Pawtucket?
I would have to say, our proximity to the river, right? I know that there's other stadiums, I think in Pittsburgh, that is right on the river, but you have that train there, kind of blocks it. But we are literally right on the banks of the Seekonk River here. So we're really trying to drive to have the boaters come up, right? Right outside the stadium here. You can kind of see it over our shoulder, just down. But I feel like that's a unique piece. The other unique piece is we're literally in a neighborhood. Right across the street from us is a home. I would say the majority, I'll tell you, most of the people across the street from us here have my cell phone number. So they know who they reach out to if they need something. We haven't necessarily had many noise complaints yet. We'll see when we have our first concert. But really, we're nestled in this community. And it's really what makes it special.
That's something I think American soccer fans kind of romanticize. Rob is part English, so he has experienced this, right? Those stadiums kind of being plopped in the middle. And obviously that's based on a long history. The stadiums are 150 years old. To build a stadium in a neighborhood in 2024, 25, that has it been a thing for the club to figure out how to make sure the neighborhood doesn't rebel against it, or be good neighbors, but also bring that atmosphere that you want?
Well, I'll tell you, I have to step back. I mean, literally where this building is built was on a brownfield, right? So it's remarkable, our owners, their vision as far as placing this stadium where it is. Yes, it's right next to the community here, but not only have they built over what was going to be just a field, and they weren't going to do it. It was remediated. Right. They had to take out some toxic soil, put in some brand new soil, and built a stadium on top of it, which is almost unheard of. But what it's done, it's actually created, better water flow through filter systems that we have underneath the stadium. And not only is it, we're providing for the community, it's the all of the different thought process and pieces that have gone onto it to benefit the community. So it's been remarkable.
One more for me, because and imagine that I can ask you this as the stadium guy, and I can ask Sean this as the president, and it occurs to me that there aren't a lot of places like this in American soccer, and therefore your players must love this. They must love this place.
100%. I mean, they have all the latest and greatest amenities, right? Yeah, I know if you've been down to the locker room, we'll get you guys down to the locker room after the game's over. We have probably one of the best locker rooms, I would say, in almost all of MLS. And our facility itself, the way they can come in and easily, it sounds very meaningless, but they can park their car, walk into the locker room, get on the field, train, as well as utilize this for games. I mean, I've heard about some horror stories throughout our league that some of our players are what they have to endure.
Yeah.
So this is the pinnacle, I would say, in the league right now, the standard that we're setting, and it's exciting to see these other clubs build these other teams and raise the level of their standard for their players.
I've only seen just a little bit of the stadium here in our time setting up, and I'm excited to see a whole lot more of it as our evening plays out here. But going back a little bit, talking about the beam here in the background of our shot, and that it was always in the plans to do the expansion. What would it take for that to go into action? Would it be a promotion? Would it be like filling it up shoulder to shoulder for years on end? Like, what would be the trigger to make that happen?
I don't know if I can really, if I have the, if I'm on that level to answer that. I mean, to me, it's our continued growth, right? So we've already established ourselves as I mentioned before, the standard and premier club. I think there is the options or the opportunities are endless. I say this constantly, and how much we're going to push the boundaries of this building. The more partnerships, not only from a soccer standpoint, but from other events that we put in here. I mean, we've already doubled our event load at the stadium here. So opportunities, we continue to grow. That'll continue the fan base as well as the attendees that come for non-soccer events. Will push us to that level to expand. So I'm excited for the future.
That's a good problem to have, right? If there's so many people, you can't, you have to turn people away because so many people are coming in. That would be an excellent problem to have, but something a little bit lighter, not put you on the hot seat so much. Sorry for that. But what's been your the most gratifying moment here? Obviously, it's just over one season under the belt. What's been the most, what's been the moment to cherish so far?
I mean, I have to go back to when we first opened the doors, right? I mean, it was always wanted to be a part of something great, and this has definitely met that mark. We have established ourselves as the place to be in Rhode Island, the friendliest place to be. As you walk around, you get to really try to meet some of our staff here. Everyone, even in this weather, have an incredible smile on their face, and this is quite a welcoming experience. So to have a little piece of that, and to be able to really raise a standard here on fan experience and the overall experience for Rhode Islanders has really been quite special.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a friendly experience. This is my first time to the region, first time to New England, first time to Pawtucket. And even when we had someone raise their voice to us earlier in the day, it turned out to be a friendly yell. So it's definitely loud but friendly is definitely the vibe that I've been getting here so far.
Amazing. Well, that's what you'll find at Rhode Islanders. It seems like they're yelling at you, but they're not really yelling at you.
Yeah.
I found that pretty quickly when I first moved here. But it's Rhode Islanders have an immense amount of pride. You see that through and through our team, and we want to continue to make sure that we hold ourselves accountable for that experience and the pride that they have.
Yeah, I mean the facility is amazing. It's beautiful. I know as the years pass, it's going to become more and more, kind of worn in the way that a soccer and again, sort of owned by the people that fill it up as their home for soccer and for the other things that can bring to the community. It's an incredible place.
100%. I'm very, very excited about the future. Hopefully some sunny days ahead of us.
But I've heard that the team does really well in the rain.
Yeah, I'm looking at an upset tonight. So
All right.
we
That's a
do.
big thing. Yeah.
Well, maybe score in the first couple minutes. Get out there strong. So, and I think it'll be a fun one.
Yeah, I love to get a very specific prediction. Early goals, set the scene here and see what the smoke might look like on a rainy day here in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. So Paul Byrne, stadium manager at Centerville Bank Stadium, thank you so much for sharing some time and some answers with us here today.
Thanks for the opportunity.